Hey, this is indeed Walt from the Comic Book Men, and you're listening to the iWalter Show.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right. Hey, this is Walter from iWalter. I am back once again. I'm doing another show on March 5th at 6 o'clock, a little after 6, actually. And I guess my one friend will be listening, so I appreciate that, my friend Matt, so thank you so much for doing that. I don't really have much up on scheduled stories or anything like that, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head. Right now, it's actually, I needed some type of white noise for the background, so I put on Netflix, and I had put it up because they're actually coming to Oaks now, but I'm running in the background just for, like, again, some type of distraction, which I really don't need. My friend Matt will probably say, you don't need any distractions, that just makes it kind of worse for myself, which he's absolutely right about, by the way. But I'm doing it despite the fact that I should not be. I am watching the original episodes from number 1 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I always had a big thing for the crush on that girl who played the Pink Power Ranger. But yes, that I'm actually watching those right now. That girl who played the Pink Power Ranger and the rest of those people from the original cast and crew, which was 20 years ago, she's now in her mid-40s, so that's pretty funny. I remember, and it was like, wow, let me think, 20, and it's been on for 20 years, I think, still going strong. So if you do the math, you take 20 years off of, she probably was only 23 or whatever at the time when, she started doing the show. The girl, I don't even know these people's names. That would make me 20 years ago, and I guess if I did the math correctly, I assume I was only probably 28 years old, which is still pretty bad for a kid's show that I was, kind of got a glimpse of. I mean, the whole thing is my fascination with people in spandex, and not even that this was really that, but it was similar to it. These, it was like kind of reason it caught my attention too was growing up. I think my friend Matt would kind of relate to this. Not Power Rangers, but he was definitely into the Transformers. This was kind of like a live action knockoff of trying to pretend a wannabe Transformers type thing, but not even that, because I really never watched that much. I actually watched the GoBots. So Matt, if you're listening, when you're listening to this, GoBots was like me with Sesame Street. I never watched that. I watched Mr. Rogers. It's like for the slow people. You watch the slower paced shows like Mr. Rogers as opposed to Sesame Street, and then also you would watch, GoBots, which I really loved that show. When I used to come home from high school, I used to love that. I hated Transformers, but I loved the GoBots. But no, I actually grew up when I was younger, much younger, obviously, when I was a kid, probably 9 years old. I used to love, and I bought those. I think my friend Matt liked those too. Were that show called Ultraman. And I think you can't get all the episodes, but you can get definitely some of them. Well, and Godzilla. Well, that was the whole thing. Power Ranger was more so on the line of Ultraman, but it was probably a lot weaker. And obviously, kind of on the line of everything came out of Godzilla. So I'm just keeping my eyes on my levels. So anyway, yeah, that's what I have in the background. So I just wasted a couple minutes there. Anyway, other than that, it was funny. I read it online, and I said I was going to do it, and I did, but I got lost. And I'm looking at it right now because I took a picture of where Robert De Niro was for this grand open, in which it was actually open for a while. This place called Fine Wine and Good Spirits. So it was really cool. He was trying to push some vodka that he actually got his name, I guess, branded on there somehow. I don't know, or he's responsible for it. So he showed up. Well, they said the first 300 people that would come through the door, or wait outside, basically, would get this envelope, and inside would be, out of those 300 envelopes, there'd be 15 for people to actually meet the man, and another 15 that could actually get an autograph from Robert De Niro. Well, unfortunately, I got lost. I actually I looked it up online, not in my GPS. I looked up online for, an address, and it actually gave me the wrong address. My friend Matt will know where this is. There's a video store he likes over on the main line, a friend of his owns, and it sent me over that direction to this shopping center. And it was like, okay, this is not even the right shopping center at all. So I put it in again, and it was like, because I can't remember the name now, which is probably a good idea. I can't remember the name of the shopping center, but this name for this, not the store, but the shopping center, there's like 5 other places around the country to have the same name for their shopping center. So it told me one's like 6 hours away. I was like, okay, that's definitely not the one. The other one, it gave me directions, like I said, around the shopping center, which was incorrect, down on the main line, like not too far from Bryn Mawr. So I was like, okay, this is obviously not the right one, and now I'm running out of time. I actually left the house around 1 o'clock. I didn't get there until 2:15, 2:30, and at that point it was already too late, because by the time I finally found the correct shopping center, again, I can't remember the name. I apologize. I didn't take anything. I'm looking at it now, actually, the address. And when I finally found the place, I had to find a place to park. It was near this new Wegmans or whatever how you say it. So the parking lot for the Wegmans or whatever was completely crowded, and newscasters actually parked over that direction to walk to this spirit store, because it was chaos. Now, if I would have left and got there on time, which should have only had taken me like 30, 40 minutes to get to this place where Robert De Niro was. And if I would have parked right away, and not fooled around, I probably would have been on the tail end, like me and my friend Matt were. We were years ago. We went to see Howard Stern, where we were like the very last person to get to see the man, when that was like 30 years ago. So that's what would have happened if I would have like not fooled around or had the correct address from the get-go. But since I didn't, instead of being like near the first 300, I was closer to maybe in the realms of the first 1,000 people, because it was wrapped around a couple buildings, and the other merchants in this shopping center were really pissed off. It's like, listen, you're kind of distracting from our business. They need to do something. So they sent somebody out to say, you guys kind of like got to organize yourself. This is getting a little crazy. And it's like, well, they should have thought about this. So I did take a picture, and it's a grand opening featuring Robert De Niro, Friday, March 4th at 4 p.m. Well, this shenanigans started way earlier than that, at least people lining up. It said, Fine Wine and Good Spirits, Premium Collection Store, 1751 Williamton Pike, Glen Mills, PA, 19342. So I was completely in the wrong direction. Now, the stuff he's trying to promote, I had taken a picture of the bottles. It was called VDK 6100, signed by Robert De Niro. I asked them, do you have any of the bottles signed? And they said, not at this point, because I probably would have bought one of the bottles. Now, here was the only thing, though. I don't drink alcohol, for one thing. Two, somebody said, well, he was probably just speculating. He says, I think they're going to charge for his autograph on the bottle vodka, which you're never going to open up after you have it autographed by Robert De Niro. It's going to probably be around $250 a bottle. Now, a bottle of vodka, I don't care how good it is, probably doesn't cost remotely close to that. So I didn't feel like sticking around after this whole thing went on, and I heard it was on the news last night. The few people out of probably thousands, literally thousands that showed up, it was a total of 30 people, 15 who actually got an autograph, 15 who actually got a photo with Robert De Niro. So I could have stuck around maybe and maybe got something, maybe even bought a bottle, but honestly, I waste a lot of money, I admit to that. But is it worth, if that was true, would it be worth spending like a couple $100 on a bottle of vodka just for the man's autograph? I'd rather have gotten a photo of him, but you couldn't even get close to the table where he was sitting. I mean, I couldn't even see him at all. All I seen was a lot of people. And I just got I even asked the guys that were in there, security guards and stuff that they had to hire to check over this thing. The guy even said, you know what, you're not going to see anything. There's too many tall people around Robert De Niro. He even admitted it's just a waste of time. So I figured, you know what, I'll just settle for a photo of the vodka he's trying to sell, which I put up from where the register was, and a photo of the posting on him being there. And that was fine because it was great to see him show up, but it's just like, that's the thing I have to question nowadays. All these celebrities are asking tons of money now. Speaking about that, I think we came to agreement this year. This might be the first time on something different. I may not be going to this comic book convention down in Philadelphia because the cost has gotten so extremely high on what they're asking for an autograph or a photo with these celebrities that it's even become beyond the reach of what I can afford, or even not even that I could afford it, but what I'm willing to spend. So they got the cast and crew from Captain America, which I'd love to meet the actors and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Well, if you want to get like the main guy, I don't know his name either, the main actor or a couple of the other actors, you're talking about $1,000 a pop. Now, Michael J. Fox was asking at the cast and crew from Back to the Future, he was asking for $1,000 just to get his autograph and a photo. And heaven forbid, I think it was 2 years ago now, I ended up getting a photograph with Billy Piper, which I regret, and David Tennant. That cost $500 and was like, okay, this is crazy, but I love Doctor Who. As much as I bitch and complain about the new series, there's certain things I do like about it. I did like David Tennant as an actor. I didn't like particularly what they did with the show, but I did like David Tennant. And I was like, I'll do it. And I thought Billy Piper, I love her as an actress. I just don't like her as a person. I think she was really obnoxious. But I figured, you know what? This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, which you find out later on it's a bunch of BS because a lot of these actors end up coming back, or they come back the following year, which the guy who runs the Wizard Con, it's called, because I didn't name it yet, he says, oh, yeah, we kind of cycle people like in different locations. We never send them back to the same city the following year. Well, guess what? That's a bunch of BS. When there's money to be made and if the actors don't get too offended, they're going to come back every freaking year, and their price goes up every year too. So, I mean, it was pretty interesting when they got, who played in Smokey and the Bandit and Deliverance to show up at a comic book convention. I got to look up his name now because I totally forgot. Let me move down my mic so I'm not losing my mic. Let's see, because you know what, I actually do forget. And I own the movie, and I still haven't watched it yet. Okay, I got Deliverance. I just got to figure out what the guy's name is. This is ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, about Deliverance. Let me put in. I'm putting in IMDb because that's the best way. Because there's Burt Reynolds. Yeah, Burt Reynolds actually showed up. I think it was last year or the year before. He actually showed up to the comic book convention. It was like, okay, I'd like to meet the guy, but he was asking a lot of money. And people were questioning, I guess, at least some people were, at least I was. How's that? Why is Burt Reynolds going to a comic book convention? It made no sense to anybody. Well, a few of us. But, hey, it worked because they got a large audience. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, these actors have came to the realization, I think my friend Matt mentioned this, we talked about this before. Why do people show up to this, these actors? Well, you know what? It's an easy gig for them. They don't have to memorize lines. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is show up, sit down, shake a few people's hands, smile at a few people, and they get paid probably a couple grand just for doing so. It's the easiest thing they could do. And the thing is, you know, hey, that's me included. You got enough people now who are, you know, dumb enough to pay crap loads of money, and now you're not even talking. Before it was like $10, $15, $20, $50, $100 just to get an autograph from a person, a photo. Now they you know, these actors, I assume, and these organizations to set up the stuff, they came to a realization, well, let's see what we can do if we can ask for $500 for the same thing. And apparently the amount of people who show up to this and pay that kind of money is, you know, they sell out. These Wizard Cons and these other places. So now they decided, let's see if we could ask for like $1,000 a pop. And I think people have kind of come to came to the point of like, wait a minute, this is probably a little bit too much. But, you know, hey, they've been successful up to this point. So I hope people kind of come to the conclusion, like, wait a minute, like, I'm paying like a couple grand. You know, this happened years ago. I remember when Miley Cyrus would go to do these concerts, and, you know, these kids, their parents basically, not the kids, would literally, because I remember hearing this back when I was still listening to Stern, or, you know, or in a roundabout way listening to Stern, because I haven't listened to Stern in years. Of course, Miley Cyrus goes back a bit of ways when she was really popular. That even Stern was paying, I think, a couple grand just for a ticket just to see her in concert, and then the people who got the meet and greets would pay a couple grand more. And I was like thinking to myself, this is ridiculous. Who would actually do this? I find myself doing this with other actors and some of these kid actors. But now I've gotten to the point. But the point is, the only one who used to rip people off this severely are these Disney kids. And I mean, I'm not even, I can't use, for lack of a better word, like literally we're ripping off parents and stuff who just had these spoiled brat kids who, you know, hey, just to keep my kid quiet, I'm going to give them whatever they want, no matter how, I'm trying to think of the right word, preposterous or just ridiculous it may seem. Even if it means that I got to pay like $2 or $3 grand just for my kid to go see and get a picture of Miley Cyrus for 30 seconds. So now it's gotten to the point that, you know, she got away with it because these parents basically just caved into their kids. But now you're got like other celebrities, and I think they're doing it because they're really not making that much money. Even though, you know, there are movies still being produced and direct, you know, stuff like that. But I don't think they're making the kind of money these actors like they did years ago. Before all this shenanigans with our government, just basically raising taxes and health insurance and stuff. Because just because these people that I'm talking about are actors, they still got bills to pay. And they're not making the kind of money probably they did a few years ago when they were in films. And, you know, of course, the ticket price was cheaper too. But the people going to see these films, I think, have probably shrunk a bit. Because you got people who probably just stream stuff, or basically, you know, it's probably gotten bigger now with the economy again being so bad. This is just me speculating all this stuff. But I'm sure there's more people, because I'm not doing it anymore, but I'm sure there's other people that are taking these movies and getting them for free. So that's not money in these actors' pockets. So the bottom line is, I'm going to cut to the chase, finally. I think these actors aren't getting the financial security and income they got years ago. So to supplement their ways of wanting to live is by looking for other sources of income. And which way would be the best way to do it? I would say probably probably the best way is just to charge people thousands of dollars just to get a photo with them. And I mean, I think now it's gotten to the point that it's like, wait a minute, I'm going to pay $2,000 or $3,000 by when everything's said and done between getting a hotel room, going to this place, being aggravated, and getting pictures that with my eyes closed and make me look so bad because they don't allow you to take the pictures anymore. They make you stand while they take the picture, and they don't do even a good job at it. So the people at these Wizard Cons and these other convention centers, because there's actually one down in Oaks now, they do these conventions, and you know what? They're getting really expensive too, but I'd rather go to the one around the house because now they've gotten like more people I'm interested in right down the street from where I live. I don't have to get a hotel room, but it is slowly creeping up. And I'm telling you, when it gets to the point that I'm paying more than like, I'll say like $200 is going to be my, like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. And that's a lot of money. When it gets up to when they say, well, we're going to ask $750 for an autograph or $800 or $1,000, you probably think, as I know my friend Matt or Todd would probably think this, that I'll get to the point that, oh, you're going to still pay for it. You know, you're going to do it. It's like, no, you know what? That $750, that $1,000 is me paying a bill off, or basically, if I want to buy some type of really expensive electronic equipment, that pays for that electronic equipment I want. If it's a TV set, another laptop, or some Apple device, you know, at least I'll get more than 30 seconds of, what do you call it, out of it. I'll get more than 30 seconds of pleasure out of it. If I want 30 seconds of pleasure, I'll go masturbate. And unfortunately, though, not unfortunately, the fortunate thing about that, it doesn't cost me a freaking dime. The most it's going to cost me is a tissue or two. But it's not going to cost me $2,000 or $3,000 for that 30 seconds of pleasure there. But it is going to cost me that much if I go get a photograph or an autograph with somebody that nobody's going to even respond about, or it's going to go on my bookshelf collecting dust for the next 50 years. So, yeah, there's a point. I mean, and now I've decided, like, I wanted to do this yesterday. This is why I wanted to go try to check out Robert De Niro. I didn't think it was going to be as crazy as it was. I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. But I could have done this. I couldn't remember her name the other day, and I'm going to get it wrong. But I really loved her. She was so sweet. Was this actress named Amy Acker? She was in a lot of Josh Whedon's TV shows, mainly. She was in a couple of his TV shows. She's a really, really lovely woman. She was very polite. She actually went out of her way to make sure she was at a comic convention. She wasn't that expensive. She was actually somewhere in mid-Jersey. I went and seen her. She wasn't too far at this convention center, by the way, if you're familiar with these restaurants called Fuddruckers. It wasn't too far from one of those. But it was at a convention center. It was last year. And Amy was so nice. Like, I said, this is the first time when I saw her, because she was so polite. I said, you're really making me nervous. She said, you don't have to be nervous. You know, I'm fine with that. And she was very polite. She wanted to talk to me. She went out of her way. She even did some selfies with me. She actually picked up my phone. She said, can I have your phone? And she did a selfie with me. I have those somewhere on my Facebook page. But I didn't think of it at the time. I did kind of think of it, and I didn't think I could have gone this far. But even then, it started a little light bulb going off in my head. Maybe I better do some type of, at first I thought a podcast, but it's like I could just do a commercial spot with her. And that's what I tried to do I wanted to do yesterday with Robert De Niro, but I couldn't get even that close to him. Because I did do that with Walt Flanagan and two other guys, Mike and who was the other guy from the Comic Book Men. And that turned out pretty nice. Now, I used the same mic setup I'm using right now. So I'd have to use my phone. But even with Amy Acker last year, I could have basically got her to say, hey, because she actually stopped everything and she did a podcast or some type of little news segment for somebody similar to what I'm doing now. At the convention, she actually stopped us to talk to him for a few minutes. And she also stopped to take some photo publicity shots with a group of Girl Scouts. Like, sure, she went out of her way to, like, you know, even when she was supposed to stop to do the interview or the photo shoot with these Girl Scouts, I was the next one in line to get a photo, and I would have had to wait a half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it was. Amy actually stopped everything. She says, no, I'm going to make sure to get you out of, you know, I'm going to not get me out of the way. But she wanted to, you know, she spent a good 10, 15 minutes talking to me. It was like, hey, I don't want to hold you up. And I'm sure if I would have asked her, hey, Amy, could you have given me a commercial spot, which I didn't go that, you know, my thought process did not go that far. I think, of course, yeah, she would have done that. So, you know, my next project is the one down in Oaks. There's this actor, he played in this show called The Flash. I'm going to have to look for that now. I'm just going to put in Oaks. He's going to be around, and I'm sure this guy, he seems really nice, too. No, it's actually... Oh, okay. Yeah, it actually did come up. John Wesley Shipp. He's going to be at what's... I don't know why they call it this, but it's the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con. That's coming up soon. Now, I haven't bought a ticket yet because I'm too afraid to. I think I will buy one for there because it's right down the street from where I live. And, yeah, John Wesley Shipp. And he's a really cool guy. Now, my friend Todd said, oh, you know he's gay. And it's like, I don't care if the guy has green skin. I just love his acting. I think he's a great actor. You know, not everybody know. I mean, he's about as popular probably probably less popular. But he's about as popular as Lou Ferrigno, who played the Incredible Hulk. Like, people know who he is, but they really don't. Well, that's the same thing with John Wesley Shipp. I mean, I know who he is, and I admire him. I watched The Flash. It was back in the 80s he actually played the part. And he actually did a cameo for quite a long time. He did quite a bit of the show. He probably still does, for all I know. He acts on the new series, The Flash. So I'm going to ask him, hey, if I get to meet him. I haven't bought my ticket yet. I'm not really worried about him selling out. He played the character named Barry Allen. He's basically the Flash. And it was a really good show. So he's showing up right down here in Oaks. I mean, I'm going to probably go and bring my phone along and say, hey, I could bring my equipment. I got a mobile system now that I can basically do podcasts. If I can get him to do that, I'll be more than just ecstatic for doing that. If he lets me do it, John, I'll do that with him. But I seriously doubt it. But if I can even just get a little bit of a, hey, John, would you be willing just to do a plug for my show? I'm sure he would. But the bottom line is, pictures are okay. I used to love taking pictures. Trust me, I still like doing that with these actors. I just think it's fun. It is a waste of money. But the times I've gotten pictures, even with Kevin Smith, which I could have done it then. I could have said, can you do a plug for my show? Which, again, I wasn't thinking on my feet. Because if I did, I know, because I met Kevin Smith twice. And without a doubt, he would have done it. Now, I'm going to see Kevin Smith in another 2 months, but it's going to be on stage. And I won't have that privilege of basically, hey, can I pull you aside? Can you do a plug for my show? I'm not going to have that chance again. Those chances for now are over. Now, in the distant, way distant future, I might have that chance again, but it might be not for a very long time. But you know what? That's kind of fun, too. Just asking these actors, hey, can you just give me a plug for my show, my iWalter show? And you know what? Believe it or not, when I even do plugs or whatever with people that maybe somebody might know, believe it or not, that actually does pretty well. I'll get a little bit more of a listener base for a short period of time, and I'll take that. So that's where I stand right now. I didn't post any stories. Now, here's another reason I really can't talk about too much, even though I've been mouthing off for the last half hour probably at this point, was because I finally got to the point I should have listened to my friend Matt. I just told him this. And my friend Todd, they both kind of warned me. There's a person on Facebook who I added. And I'm going to keep it anonymous, so I'm not going to tell you who it is, he or she, or both. I'm being sarcastic. Or whatever. But since I added this particular person, which I did it out of just being a good sport, I've gotten into more trouble making violations that are just way off the wall, like make no sense why I'm breaking the rules of Facebook or even YouTube, that it happened again, but it just happened when I added one particular person. And it got to the point now, it's like, okay, this is enough, because now the bottom line is my account on Facebook, it happened on YouTube too. And it happened right after I had this one particular person, that no matter what I post, even if it's like a repost from somebody else's Facebook page, I get a notice by Facebook today. I got a notice that said that, hey, you had violated the Facebook rules, and we are now not just giving you a slap on the wrist, we are suspending your account for 1 day. Now, this started these notes from YouTube and Facebook right after adding this one particular person, not anybody else. And I put up like the most extreme, obnoxious stuff. But you know what? This is articles I don't come up on my own. I find these basically from other subscribers of Facebook. They don't get in trouble for them, so I don't find the problem that I'm making an issue when I'm putting what's called a share. But apparently this person went as far, because the one post that got me in trouble today was somebody's Facebook page, and it was of this man who got this petrified piece of wood. It's like a branch from a tree that was petrified. Now, it was really long. I mean, it's like petrified, I mean, it's like a rock. I'm going to look for it right now because I put it on my friend's page. And his did not get pulled, but mine did. Now, the funny thing was, this petrified piece of wood kind of looks like a big salami, to say the least. Now, it's a piece of wood. Again, a petrified piece of wood. So I tried to post it on the friend's page as a joke. And it wouldn't go through, because this friend of mine, my friend Todd, I should say, he's not friends with the person who put up this picture. So I had to basically save the picture, post it on his page, which is only between me and him. And he found it funny because this guy literally mounted this piece of wood on his wall. It's just a piece of fucking wood that looks like literally like a piece of salami on and something else, but on the wall. And I put underneath, I said, and it doesn't say anything offensive. I wrote underneath for my friend Todd, I said, Todd, is this yours? I was being sarcastic and I was joking. He gets a kick out of that shit. So he puts up a funny picture underneath of the thing I posted. And the person that the one that I posted on my friend's page, he had nothing happen to him. But I had to download the picture and repost it. Now, that same picture, though, was on my Facebook page. It's no longer there because I shared it from somebody else's link. They allowed me to share it. So it was like, okay, I'll share this picture. That same picture somebody had reported me and said, I find this offensive. And now that this person continues to try to get me in trouble, I am now on a 1-day suspension from Facebook. And it was like, okay, I should have listened before. I didn't say it yet, but my friend Matt and Todd said, you need to block this person and do whatever you have to do. Just get make a distance between you and this person. And I did not. I said, I like the challenge of, them trying to get me in trouble. Well, now they successfully blocked me from Facebook, which obviously really pissed me off. Now I just spilled soda. So let me take a break for a second and get some paper towels to clean up this mess. Hold on one moment, folks. If I can figure out how to do it. So it's going to be a little breather for 1 millisecond. All right. I think I did this correctly. Yeah, I actually did. I spilled Coke. Whoops. I just lost my thing. My mic stand. So give me a minute for this now. Yeah, what's going on with me? Hold on one sec. I'll try to keep the mic on while I'm doing this. You're going to hear some silence for about a minute. And I'm still here. I am totally a mess tonight. Yeah, I spilled like Coke on my keyboard. Now, here's the thing, though. I tell you, these are great keyboards. They don't make them anymore. I have an old Apple keyboard. I paid like $20-$30 for it. I mean, it's ancient. It's heavy duty. It has a clear bottom. It's got the clickety-click keys. But I'll tell you one thing. That keyboard takes a licking. I mean, you could submerge it, not that you want to, underwater. It's a wired one, which you really want. But I just spilled Coke on there, and I'm not really that worried, minus that the keys might stick, so you want to get it off right away so it won't get sticky. No puns intended. But that keyboard is much better. You get those new ones. I even tried to tell this guy at Micro Center. He, like, went to, I think, it was at the Apple store. I said, I waited till, like, the geek, or what do you call it, the guy from Apple walked away, the person who works there, and I told this guy, I said, listen, you don't want to buy one of these wireless super slim keyboards. I said, they're going to break. Because he said, he went through 2 of them. I said, I went through more than that probably. And I finally got to the point, the only keyboards that are really well made from Apple are the old ones. Those things will last you until the end of time. And they're like, you can buy them used you can't buy them new anymore. They don't make them. But you can buy them used for like $30 or $50, give or take, and it's worth every penny, trust me. And they're good keyboards. They're very nice. You can buy a cheap keyboard of any other brand, but these are laid out for the Apple commands. That's why I like it. Different story, but I'm back now, so I'm just letting you know. I'm looking at my levels on the side here. I think I tightened down my equipment for my mic. Now, here's another one. Because this person made 2 violations, or told me I violated 2 things, and I made a suspicion on who it was, and I reported this person now because I'm tired of them making accusations on stuff, and it's slanderous, and I'll mention that why in a minute. But the other one they found offensive was because I'm going to use Twitter more, and I don't like Twitter, but I'm going to have to use it more because some of the stories I see on Twitter most people should find offensive, but they don't. They only find me reposting stupid stories as offensive, and this is one of them. I reposted something on Facebook, and this was the one that they finally said, I find this offensive. It says it right on the article. New York Post on Twitter. I reposted from the New York Post newspaper. I reposted an article onto Facebook. And it got me blocked on Facebook because they found the article offensive. And you know what it's on? Because I heard it on Rush Limbaugh just yesterday. It's the front page cover of yesterday's paper, and it's OJ's murder weapon. It's the newspaper. It's the actual physical newspaper you buy on the shelf or whatever at the newsstand. So they found that to be incredibly offensive. And that got me violated. That was my second violation, 2 in one day. So now they blocked me. And I wrote, I tried to call Facebook, but I wrote them a letter. And I said, this person as well, this one person that I have under suspicion, repeatedly finds everything I post, even though it's not stuff I post, it's things I repost, as being offensive only from me. So I said, this is definitely slanderous, and this is definitely harassment. So let me see what I wrote, because I send this to somebody else in a text. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, because I can't even read my own writing, even though it's typed up. But anyway, I basically wrote, to whom it may concern for Facebook, and I did it under basically harassment. They have a spot on Facebook for harassment, that I'm being the one being harassed. I basically wrote that I've been repeatedly under scrutiny for some period of time with both Facebook and YouTube, stating that I've been posting offensive things and breaking copyright laws. So, both which have been nothing more than slanderous attacks to shut my pages down. That's what I wrote. The first one was basically on reposting articles from other people's posts, which only mine are subjected to me, and basically that I'm the one being subjected as being offensive articles. And now my account is suspended. That's what I wrote. The other one is basically this one person I wrote that is constantly making slanderous attacks on everything that I post, which is basically just a repost of other material from other people on Facebook. And then I actually wrote in this thing to the Facebook people who regulate this stuff. I said they also tried to get me in trouble one time for saying that I broke a copyright infringement law on music that was not even, it was music that from a video piece that a friend did 20-some years ago, where I posted on YouTube a video he did. He made his own music, and he did it on a 4-track, and they were saying this was copyrighted material when the copyright was actually owned by my friend, which he would be the one that would be the only person who could state that, hey, listen, it would have to be my friend who made this video from 20 years ago when we were in college, actually over 20 years ago. He would be the only one allowed to state that, listen, I find this use of my material without my discretion, this is not right. He cannot do this because I have this copyrighted under my name. Well, guess what? He's not the one who made the comment, the statement to try to get me in trouble and try to get me off of YouTube. It's the same person. It has to be the same person on Facebook who's just been scrutinized me since I've added them. So I paid them. I returned the favor to this person, and I made sure to report them now on this constant bickering of trying to get my Facebook page and my YouTube page destroyed. And a lot of this started, is my guess, is from what I'm doing now, my podcast, which I've only done for less than a year now. I'm still not at a year mark yet, I don't think. I might be coming up on a year now. I don't know. But this all started when I added this one person, and they find everything I do offensive, even a repost of an article that was already posted from somebody else, that it is not a problem when they see it from somebody else. That it's only a problem when they see Walter's name on there. So that's offensive. That's actually harassment. Now, here's the real knee slapper that really gets to me, though. This same person or persons won't find any offense when they truly post things that I find beyond offensive. Like, for instance, they will post stuff. Now, not everybody likes the man, but they will post stuff, scrutinize, and just ripping apart Donald Trump. I mean, the most extremely offensive pictures, articles, and everything else. Do you see me going and saying, I find this article offensive? No. I put up a simple picture on stupid crap, and right away they're reporting me and say, oh, this is offensive, that's offensive, this is offensive, that's offensive. This one person one time, because I did mention this, there was something I posted. It was a repost of a picture, and right away they wrote underneath of it, because I did a screenshot. I got to look for it. They wrote underneath, I find this very offensive. Now, I got to take their scrutiny every time they put something up that I'll find offensive. I'll bite my tongue. I don't even say a damn thing about it. But the second that they put something up that I find offensive, I can't do anything to defend myself, because that's not right. It's not fair for me to say, listen, they did something extremely wrong. They did something that really kicked me off, or, ticked me off, or whatever. It basically pissed me off. But it is not right for me to say, well, I find that extremely offensive. I find this extremely offensive. No, I can't say that. But they can do whatever they want to say, or do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say. They can do whatever they feel like saying, doing, or whatever, and they don't find anything I should not. Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it now. Thank goodness. It wasn't that far, because I texted to a friend. I sent that picture of Hillary Clinton where they put an afro on her head, and she's got this really goofy look on her face. And this was something I just reposted from somebody else. I didn't put it up. I found this on Facebook. and it puts, I'm off to the South Carolina, you all. And it's a picture of Hillary Clinton in an afro. Now, the person I have under suspicion, who always reports me on Facebook and YouTube of finding everything I repost only by me as being offensive, guess what they wrote underneath? They wrote, I dislike Hillary, and this is not, no, it says, I dislike Hillary, and wait, let me reread that. I dislike Hillary, and this is not funny. As a woman, I find it offensive. So, I'm not the one who, I posted the picture, but at the same time, I'm not the person who originally posted the picture. But now here's the real double standard. They found that picture of Hillary Clinton extremely offensive, of putting an afro on her head and saying, I'm going to the South right now. And this person said, I find it offensive as a woman. Now, this same person will repeatedly, I should go on their page, repeatedly put up extremely offensive pictures, I find offensive, of Donald Trump, making him look like a total asshole. Or, like a clown. And that's okay, though, because the bottom line is I can't say a word, because it's a double standard where it's all right for that person to say and post anything. And I'm looking through their webpage right now because I'm going to find some of these pictures. And they can make a mockery of whoever they want, and I can't say a freaking thing about it. But then I need to watch my step on everything I write. I mean, my whole thing about having a Facebook page is just to have fun with it. But hypocrites like this person who says, I find offensive you putting up extremely obnoxious pictures of Hillary Clinton, that's not right, but it's all right for me to criticize Donald Trump or put up obnoxious pictures of him and, do goofy crap on him. No, you can't. If you're going to tell me and try to get me taken off of YouTube and Facebook because you find things offensive, well, you know what? That pendulum's going to swing both ways, person, man or woman, because I'm not going to say which one it was, even though I kind of did. Because that's a double standard right there. If you don't know what a double standard is, just look at your webpage on Facebook and then look at mine and look at the BS you're putting me through, and you do far worse than what I do. I think she took some of the offensive stuff off, but I know in the past I've gotten posts from this particular person, and she's put up stuff that I really just wanted to knock her teeth out of her mouth. I'm sorry. I'm saying that figuratively. I mean, it just pisses me off, the fact that they can get away with this stuff and I can't. And I'm not even posting this stuff originally. I'm just finding stuff from sources on Facebook themselves, because I know if it's on Facebook already, you can't get in trouble for reposting the thing. Now, the one thing I said, I got off of Twitter. That's different. But Twitter's got their regulations too, I hate to tell you, and they're not as bad as this BS I'm taking up with right now with this one woman who says that everything I repost on Facebook is offensive. Now, I found one that I found really offensive, and I don't make a big deal of it, and I just kept it on the Twitter page this time. But it was on Twitter, and it was on, of all things, before I knew she was a nutcase, was from Taylor Swift, where there was some transgender guy, or transgender, who tries to look like a woman. And you know who pays for this stuff. I'm sorry. We're the ones who end up paying for their tab. This guy who wants to be a woman gets these double-breasted implants put in their chest. And the whole procedure, the whole 9 yards, is placed on the Twitter page, on Taylor Swift's webpage. Now, do you see anybody attacking that person and say, oh, I find this article that you post about you getting double-breasted implants, I don't find that offensive. They don't see them saying, I find that really offensive. That should be taken down. No. If my name was attached to it, yeah, that would be a different story. Then it would have been me losing my account, the whole 9 yards. So I'm at the point right now, I got to the point, I told my friend Matt, I said, listen, I've had enough. This person has really finally pushed me towards the edge, and I know it's this particular person. I'm sorry to say, but it obviously is. I can't even get Twitter to open up right now. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, those two stories now had gotten me suspended from Facebook page. And, it's just like you push somebody too far, and they finally did. I've now gotten to the point, it's like, okay, enough is enough. So I'm going to kind of glance through some articles. I can't post any new articles, unfortunately, because my thing is suspended right now. My Facebook page, so I can't touch it otherwise. But there are some stories I can still at least look at. One was suburban Chicago man on a bicycle attacked after telling a driver to get out of the bike lane. So it's a younger guy. Looks like he got severely beaten up, too. Just to tell this guy who was driving his car in a biking lane that you need to get out of the biking lane. So I'll keep it quiet because who knows, this person who keeps on trying to get me in trouble will probably try to say, oh, you're saying something offensive again. And it says, it's from Fox 35, watch suburban Chicago man on a bicycle attacked after telling the driver to get out of the bike lane. And it said the 19-year-old suburban Chicago man was riding his bicycle in the city when an SUV driver became enraged with him and attacked him. The road rage for the driver began when Cotton, simply told the driver to basically get out of the biking lane. So fortunately, it looks like it might have been caught on video too. And that's another thing. I got gas last night down on Germantown Pike. And somebody else just complained about it. My friend Todd, his brother, was complaining about this. Yeah, the guy had one of those, what I have, those Go cams on his head, so he caught it all on video of this person basically attacking this guy with road rage. He followed this guy. He had a camera on his helmet. So thank goodness he caught this guy in SUVs chasing him and threatening his life. Yeah, he's literally, I can see it now. He's attacking this guy on the bicycle for not doing anything wrong. He's literally beating the crap out of the guy. He looks like a kid though. So, but you're not going to hear anything because of the situation on who the person that in the SUV who was attacking this young guy, this young kid. You're not going to hear anything about it because the person who was being the offender is going to be considered a victim in the roundabout way. I'll leave it at that. But I drive into, and I've seen this more and more often, and it's just really pissing me off. I go into the gas station, Sunoco gas station down on Germantown Pike, and I've seen so many people that look like they don't have two pennies to scrape together, and it was like more than one that were driving BMWs and Audis that were brand new. And I've said this before, and I had taken a picture this time of it. Now, I couldn't get a clear picture because the person started watching me, and I don't want to get them pulling a gun on me. But no offense, the person looked like they, again, don't have two pennies to scrape together, and they're driving a brand new white BMW. And I said, and my friend Todd, his brother, said, yeah, my taxes, I just had to pay a whole bunch of taxes, extra taxes, property taxes that are or money that goes towards these people. He said it's directly to go towards paying towards the people in this Section 8 housing around his area where his brother lives. Like they raised what kind of taxes you pay to go directly towards the people in Section 8 housing. So, and he said he agreed with me because of me showing that picture of the person who, again, probably doesn't even have a decent income, or maybe not a job at all. And probably most of the people that drive these cars own EBT cards. That's basically government-funded money. And drive brand new SUVs, BMWs, Audis. And who's paying for it? We're paying through our taxes. And I told him, and he agreed with me. I said, well, this is more of a reason why I want that we need to clean house. I don't care how we do it. We need to get a lot of these Democrat officials out of office and replace them, I don't care how we do it, with some type of person with an R in the beginning of their name. I mean, as a Republican, because an R won't make much sense. because the Democratic Party has now ran the office for the last 8 years, and our debt has doubled, no, actually tripled from where we were at. Our deficit is at least doubled, at least. And all you hear people doing is continue to complain, oh, well, let me open something up. Oh, it's the Republicans, it's Bush's fault. We're still fighting over, paying back the debts that Bush made. Bush didn't double or triple the financial debt we're in. It's been whoever's in office now, and people don't see that. So I gotta bring that, I gotta bring that to people's eyes, or whatever you want to say. I gotta bring it into the light. So anyway, there was another story. I just kind of did post this one up, prop this one up, and it was from Wilkesboro area, which says PSU. I think it's a college university. Yeah, Penn State University in Wilkesboro campus, closed by a bomb threat. So this is another thing. There's all these bomb threats going on. And by the way, this really scared me the other day. I got to look for this now because I sent it to a friend. I'm going to see if I can get it through his text. I got to figure out where I put it now. He asked me to send it to him again, so I did. And, I got to send this picture to a friend, too. So I got to remind myself, give myself a memo now to my friend Matt. I got to send him a picture of where I get this procedure done to regrow my hair. Okay, I'm looking for it now. I send it this afternoon to a friend, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. Not about that. Not about the hair. Okay, this actually hit the Daily UK. Oh, no, that's not the one. I'm sorry. I found some. Now, here's an interesting one on a side note. Daily UK Mail. Somebody put a picture up, and it looks like it's engraved in the floor, on the wooden floor. It's an engraving that looks like a penis with two testicles. It's like a dust mark or a dirt mark in the floorboards. And do you think that's going to get somebody offended? Well, if it was posted by me, yeah, it would. But this was posted on the Daily UK Mail. And it reads, I can't have my mum round for lunch with that. Reddit user appeals for help after toddler frozen strawberries leave basically this toddler must have made a stain mark on the floor with some strawberries, leave a very unfortunate stain on, it says the table though. I thought that was a floor. So this kid was playing with berries apparently, and the stain mark it left behind looks like a penis and testicles. So that's a real story though, but again, it'll just end up being that me, being the person I am, just having the name Walter, for some reason that people seem to constantly find as them being themselves being victimized, is going to end up me being, if I put that up on Facebook, that article, I'll get in trouble for it. That's the bottom line. So I had to post this. Oh, wait, this is not it either. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to look for this article. Here's another one anyway. It's kind of funny. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and for some reason, I was trying to look for the link so I could order online for the food. And this is no joke. I found this story, and it came from New Lenox, Illinois, and it says man overdoses at a Buffalo Wild Wing in Lenox. This police said that he injected while sitting in a car before entering the restaurant. Injected what? The 30-year-old man was hospitalized on Wednesday night after overdosing outside a Buffalo Wild Wings in New Lenox. The man's friend called 911. So I assumed he overdosed on the Buffalo Wild Wings. He overdosed on something else, obviously. So let me see if I can find the link that I'm telling you about. Okay, maybe this is the one I've been trying to read. Now, this is really scary because my parents, especially my mother, sure say, well, these wild stories with these killings, murders, or whatever you want to call them, these socialist wackos and these terrorists, these migrants, never happen around us. Well, even if they happen 2 doors down, which there's been robberies and stuff that happen 2 doors down from our house, well, at least it's not happening around us. Now, this is a little further, but this is really scary because I was just over here on Tuesday picking up some order for a movie I purchased online from Best Buy because I had some coupons. So I got the movie for like $10. It was that movie called The Fifth Element on Blu-ray. It was a 4K version because I have a 4K set. So I picked it up, by the way, and it was over at, let me look at the name because it's in this article too. This is why I got to mention this. Upper Providence Township. Well, no, that's not it. It is there's police involved. It's Upper Providence Police. Now, I'm trying to look at the name of the place. Okay. Providence Town Center. I was over there at the Best Buy just on Tuesday. So what does this have to do with anything, Walter? Well, guess what? On the patch.com, 2 men tried to break into a woman's car with child inside at Providence Town Center, the same one I was at on Tuesday. Now, this story happened on March 4th. Today is Saturday. Yes, I know that. I'm trying to look for more, and I just lost it. No, I've lost it a long time ago. I realize that. Okay, that happened on Friday. The story was posted. So it probably happened on Thursday. So it was like 2 days after I was over at this Providence Shopping Center. Now, let me read this really quick. The woman had just left Panera Bread. There's a Panera over there. When 2 men with foreign accents and long beards asked for money in an attempt to break into her car. I showed this to my parents. They came up with a different solution than I did. They said the Upper Providence, 2 men attempted to break into the woman's car once again to take money while her young child was inside the Upper Providence Township, inside the car, it was stated by the Upper Providence Police. Now, 2 foreigners with foreign accents, long beards, tried to break in a car where there was a child. Now, my dad came to the conclusion, he said, well, they were trying to steal the car. The woman jumped in the car, she locked the doors, and it didn't stop them. It says, the woman said no, and quick, like basically when they asked for money, she said no, and she entered the car and locked the doors. It said the men, however, were not deterred and came up to the doors and tried to open them. When she screamed, the men allegedly laughed and walked away towards Wegmans. So they found the whole thing as a joke. They were looking for these guys. They were looking for the guys. I think they still are because they didn't catch them. So what is this stating to you? Well, I hate to tell you, if people do keep up and are informed what they, start reading and just not ignoring what they see or what is out there, you will realize that if these were like these migrants or these Muslims, and they didn't state if the child was a boy or a girl, but I'm telling you, if it was a girl, these migrants and these Muslims don't see any problem of raping children, especially small little girls. In fact, they marry small little girls. So you see where I'm going with this. I hope you do. And this is happening right down 30 minutes from my house. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, this is happening. It says Limerick, Royersford, Spring City, PA. That's not far from where I live. So this problem with these migrants, and I've had articles online, especially because it's still going on in Germany, where these young girls and these women are constantly getting raped and beaten and everything from these migrants. And people just kind of turn the other cheek. Oh, it's not happening around here. Well, guess what? It is. And this is like right in that Providence Center now. So that's not far from home. So it's gotten much worse, and people like to lead on. And then they will still find some way that there's nothing going on around here. They will, basically take a blind eye, and they're going to find a way to also blame President Bush about this. I'm sure they will. They won't put the blame where it really belongs. So anyway, there was that. I had some funny story I sent to a friend I thought he would find it amusing. My friend Todd's brother, actually. And it was a story where people swore on a surveillance camera they thought they saw a ghost at some gas station. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go into large detail. So it's on my Facebook page. It's still there, but it's just I'm suspended from using it. So that's pretty scary that people who can say and do whatever they want only applies that they can only dictate, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to do. But when it comes to me, I can't say or do unless it's with the consent of these other people who are these bleeding heart liberals. They can do whatever they want to say. But if I say anything that I agree with or disagree with, I'm not allowed to do that at all. I have to refrain from speaking my mind. I'm not allowed to, because that goes into the category of being the white male that Russia has been talking about lately. And in so many words or less. So there was a lot of really disturbing stories. I'm looking at them now just to highlight, but it says from the Morning Call. The Morning Call is another local newspaper. It says video shows multiple fights in a medical academy charter school, but the school leaders say that that's in the past. I seriously doubt it is, but it depends, but they turned the other cheek from a lot of these stories of these violent acts of violence, these crimes, depending on who's the one causing or creating these problems. If it's certain groups of people, you're not going to hear anything about it. In fact, they're going to try to quickly push it under the rug. So I'm putting that into the mix of what I wanted to talk about. Another one is, if not, they're actually now putting up trailers for the new Ghostbusters movie. That's totally different from what been talking about. It kind of looks mildly entertaining, but my problem is I like these comedians. I don't know what it is. I always had this crush for Kristen Wiig amongst other women. I just love her. And she's funny. I don't believe probably in her politics, obviously. But this whole new Ghostbusters, by the way, is Kristen Wiig and some other actresses. It's an all-female cast. Even the villains, the ghosts, are all females in the trailer. So you know what this is going with. It's just another way of weakening the male status in some other realm, which is basically a comedy movie that was originally done by Dan Aykroyd and other comedians, Saturday Night Live and other areas back when those movies came out. They now got to make that politically correct and transform it into an all-female everything for an old comedy movie that they rebooted. Now, that I find offensive, but again, I can't say anything about that. I mean, it does look kind of funny, but it's just it's the point behind it that really bothers me. There's something else I think they just did where they re-characterize some person that was, I think it's a real person. They re-characterized a real person and made it a female character. A real person, though. Unfortunately, I don't have any information on it, so I apologize. And it's like, this is how far our political correctness has scrutinized even factual things. Like, they're going to take Abraham, for instance, this is not the one. They're going to take Abraham Lincoln and make him into a woman because it's not fair, or an African-American because it's not fair that he was white. I'm not even kidding. They are rewriting history as I'm speaking. And it's really sad. And I wish I could find that article. I'm not even making that one up. I looked at it. I was like, I had to take a double look and I had to shake my head. I'm like doing it right now. So there was another interesting story, by the way. If I can find that article before I'm done my show, I will definitely mention it. And I don't have it right in front of me, so I can't. But there was a story. It says, news alert from the Patch. This was the other day. Sodomy allegations at Conestoga High School. 3 students charged with report. So that's pretty sodomy at a high school. I don't even want to go into that, but I just had to mention it at least. And people on a much lighter note, by the way, Sony is now reconsidering, because there's been a toss up now, or like a loosening up of the Spider-Man series, because I told you it's something completely different. This is why it's my show. That they're going to reconsider of actually doing a standalone movie finally with Venom. Probably because of the popularity with Deadpool, they're going to actually do a standalone, probably movie of Venom, which I've been waiting for. Some people have been waiting for a long time. And also part of the reason for that, Spider-Man is finally, they loosened their grip. They're actually going to give it over to, to Marvel. They're giving it back to Marvel because Sony owned the rights to the Spider-Man series. Even though it's a comic book, the series was owned by Sony. And they couldn't put Spider-Man into the, not the Avengers, but you know what I mean. Those, what do you call it? A collection of superhero movies. They weren't allowed to do it. Now that Marvel has taken the rights over again, Marvel is allowed to put Spider-Man, I think, in the next, that Captain America movie. He might be doing a little bit of a cameo or whatever you call it. Spider-Man, because Marvel has gotten the rights back for Spider-Man, or they've been loosened. They loosened their grip, Sony did. And in the process, they might actually make a Venom movie somewhere in that niche. They're going to actually reconsider on, okay. And then part of it is because Deadpool, believe it or not, at this point, it's probably higher now. Last time I saw Deadpool, which they thought it was going to make hardly any money because it had a hard R rating, has now, believe it or not, has made over $600 million. That's far over what they thought. Now they're saying they're going to give Batman versus Superman an R rating as well, which I have no problem with. I'd rather see something higher like an NC-17 on some of these movies, but they're not going to do that. They're actually going to water down, by the way, that movie of Suicide Squad to a PG-13 because they can't destroy all their audience. But look at it, though. An R rating got more kids into those movies that were under the age of 13 because just because it has an R rating doesn't mean as long as you're have your parental, a parent with you. I've gotten the movies when I was 9 years old that were rated R, and they were a lot more gory than Deadpool or these other films. So that whole worry about, we're going to lose money on a R rating actually does the complete opposite, because when kids see an R rating on a movie they want to go see, they're going to push I did the same thing. They're going to push their parents until their parents go get them or take them to see the film. So that's actually increased because now Deadpool has surpassed on money wise, what it made film wise, has surpassed all these superhero movies, including those ones with Iron Man and Captain America. I can't remember what that group of people are called. I keep on coming up with Avengers. It's not the correct word. Maybe I better look that up real quick. I know I'm going to waste some time, but I'm going to do it anyway. Sorry about that. I just put it in and see if it comes up. Captain America's collection, Captain American films. I guess it is Avengers. Captain America, the first Avenger. So I guess I was right. It is part of the Avengers group. So, hey, and, Deadpool was part of the Avengers, I believe, and didn't stop them from making money. Or actually, no, he wasn't part of the Avengers. He was part of the other group. I got to put in Wolverine. Wolverine. I spelled that so freaking wrong. It's not even fun. X-Men. So, yeah. Actually, Deadpool was would I guess be part of the X-Men, I guess. I don't know. I don't really follow that crap. I'm stuff. Sorry about that. I don't mean to call it crap because people like that. So, I just enjoy the films for being movies. Yeah, same way with Superman, everything. I really can't wait to see Ben Affleck again and as new Batman. I think he's going to do a really good job. Funny story, by the way. My friend Dana Ann, she put up something that was really funny, and I'm surprised she would put it something. It's like a test, though. And it says 21 questions, but it was the way it was worded. I'm just surprised from Dana Ann that she would actually put something up like this. And trust me, I appreciate her doing it. But she put up, and it says stated, 97% of the adults can't pass this elementary test, 21 questions. It's from playbuzz.com. I think it's funny that Dana Ann put it up because she's a sweet girl, but it's just so vicious by the title of it that I can't believe she would do something like this. Now, I'm not going to say, I find this offensive, because I don't. I find it really funny that she would actually post it. And knowing Dana Ann, she wouldn't do it just to, like me. I'm vicious about things. She doesn't have a vicious bone in her body. So, I know she did it for other reasons. I gotta point that out. Sorry, I'm looking through some of my stuff I posted up. Oh, yeah, this is another thing. Actually, it's coming out April 1st of all the days it can come out. Is another Amityville horror movie called The Awakening, Amityville The Awakening. And that's literally on April 1st. So I don't know when April 1st is this year, but most movies come out mostly on Friday. So would that mean that Friday this year is on April 1st? I don't know, but it seems like it must be. And again, I won't check. So there was that. I'm looking at what I was able to post, and there was the thing on basically the Venom movie again. Oh, by the way, I put this up. Now, I'm surprised nobody found this offense. Oh, I know they won't find offense. So forgive me. I put up, that's enough internet for today, and it's a video, and it is so funny because I looked at it, and I watched it like I didn't know what to expect. This girl, she's driving too fast. It's a comedy video. It's not supposed to be real. And it actually says underneath, drive however fast you fucking want. And it was funny because this girl, she's not paying attention. She's driving too fast. And let me see. Let me watch the beginning of this video. Okay, she runs over this guy who is walking across the street, a pedestrian. She literally kills this guy. And they said, well, maybe if she was only driving 5 miles less than she was, decreasing your speed by 5 miles, you can actually be able to control your car. So she does that. They do a reverse. Again, I didn't know this was going to be a comedy video. And they reverse it. She does not hit the guy. She can slam on her brakes because they reverse the time thing with this girl hitting this guy if she would have drove a little slower. And here, who she saved was Adolf Hitler. This guy dressed up like Adolf Hitler. I'm laughing my ass off. It is the funniest video I've seen in a while. I have to give it a lot of credit. And I was dated back February 9th. So I thought that was pretty funny. I'm very easily amused. Because my one friend, Matt, says he doesn't understand. I'm the victim of, or not a victim. I'm a culprit of this. I put up a lot of cutesy videos of cats and dogs doing stupid stuff, acting like human beings. So he gets annoyed by it. I just find it funny. I'm very easily amused, I'll admit. So there's that. I have this other video up, by the way, from the Daily Mail, and you have to watch this one too, where there's this Indian woman behind the counter, and this kid with a hoodie on. And just to verify this, or whatever you want to say, justify it, it is a white kid. And his whole thing was he has a concealed weapon, a gun underneath his hoodie. And he brings out purchase some stuff, and then he holds the gun in the woman's face. If I remember correctly, I'm going to go a little bit fast forward. And this woman, this Indian woman, I got to give her credit because, yeah, the guy is literally holding a pistol at her face. She gets pissed off. She does not accept the fact that this guy's going to rob her. She beats the shit out of the guy, and she pulls the gun out of the guy's hands. I mean, I got to give that woman some credit, this Indian woman. She has a lot of fucking balls, bigger than mine, so I'll tell you that much. And I tell you, I tip my hat to that woman for doing that. I think that was really brave. A little stupid, but very brave and definitely courageous. So I am looking for some other story I wanted to mention that I had up. Thank God they didn't destroy all my stories. And it's not going to stop me from reposting things from other people. I'm just going to make it the next, apparent the next time that somebody says, I find this offensive, I'm going to say, well, this, like I did this time, which I'm going to have to wait 24 hours, I'm just reposting somebody else's stories. You can't, you are going after me, you better attack the other person, put it up, which you won't, because then I can definitely get you on, it's not me owning the website, but I'm just going to make a note of it like I am now, that's slander. So anyway, there was a story, because actually, now that I've gotten in trouble, people like, I think Christopher Morbid Lee, and also some of these other guys that I get these horror links off of, they actually appreciate some of my older stuff now. that is pretty offensive, but that I didn't put up originally. I just reposted from other people. Now they're actually kind of sticking up for me, these people. So I'm really glad. Some of them, at least one of these guys did. And I can't remember. It was either Christopher Morbid Lee, which I was really shocked that he liked one of my obnoxious links from a while back. So I was like, hey, dude, I appreciate it, though. You know, hey, I'll take the support where I can get it. You know, that the ones who are backing me up are going to stick behind me. Oh, okay, it was this guy named Lee Siegfried. He puts up the most obnoxious stuff. He actually enjoyed my picture I put up that was something I got from somebody else that was really obnoxious. But it was very inappropriate. Well, not inappropriate, but it was just making fun, poking fun at stereotypes. And he actually today, he just like said, hey, that was like, he loved it. And it was like a couple days ago I put it up. So people are like, you know, your true friends are going to, you know, support you on, you know, because they know you're just being tongue in cheek. You don't mean anything by it at all. Now, I am looking for a story. I'm sure that got pulled because somebody got offended by that. I'm trying to look for this story. Well, this was in, like, Russia, where this girl was so drunk. She was a hot-looking girl. She smashed up more cars you could even, like, count on your fingers. And I think she probably did get in trouble for that. This was, like, in Russia, I think, or something like that. But before I read this, Christopher Morbid Lee put something up, and he said, for charge was sexually abusing 2 4-year-old children for 5 months. Now, I'm going to make you think for a couple minutes. For charge was sexually abusing 2 4-year-old children for 5 months, Dreamin' Demon, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 4 people have been arrested and accused of sexually assaulting 2 4-year-old children at multiple locations for 5 months. The details regarding these arrests almost sound too depraved to be true, but a longtime DD reader as well aware. Well, at least one of the ones posted is a picture of a woman. So there you go. According to the police, the 2 4-year-olds, a male and a female, told police they had been sexually accused by Lindsay Honeycutt, 29. Amber Rose Heverin, whatever, 30. Let me see. Somebody 55. Anthony Stricken, 45. There's supposed to be 4 people. So, you know where I'm going to go with that one. I'm sorry, but, you know, people's minds when they see child abuse or sexually assaulting a child, it automatically goes that it must be these perverted men that do this stuff. Nobody wants to hear that well, wait a minute. Actually, it wasn't a man who was one of the people in the mix, or actually a couple of the people in the mix. When you see a picture of a woman, or you hear, it was a woman doing the sexual assaults, then you don't want to hear about it any longer. It no longer becomes interesting, especially with a 4-year-old, 2 4-year-olds. So I'm just trying to point out again. Now that again, if I posted a comment like that, that would definitely get me banned from Facebook indefinitely. Like I wouldn't be able to come back even under an alias name. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to point out the facts. So I'm surprised. I'm looking at it right now. This was pretty funny. I put up something, a picture again I got from somebody else. I got it. It says from Tom's Holland's Terror Time, and it says there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's Pieces, and they're showing like a parody of somebody eating Reese's Pieces, but they have the human centipede look to the picture. So basically, the person who's eating the Reese's Pieces is basically going to feed it through their ass to the other people chained in the link in, what do you call it, the human centipede style. Oh! Maybe this is a story I was thinking about, folks. I'm so sorry. So I thought it was a real person. No, it was actually a person from a comic book. When I said that they changed a male, a true to life, I was wrong about that, so I'm taking it back now. A male person into a female character. And this is going to be on that show, Gotham. This is no joke. I mean, yeah, that's a fictional character. You can do whatever but you can do whatever you want. But this is just, again, you got to be politically correct. It says female Joker on Gotham revealed. So they're changing the character that's been around. How long has Batman been around? Let's see how long Joker's been around. Because that would make it even more interesting. Oh, God. Because I think Batman's been around for like 80 years. The comic books. Okay, it says spring 1940 first appeared. So let's see. Let's do the math, because I can't do math. Trust me. 2016 minus 1940. 70. Well, okay, yeah, because Batman has been around for about 80 years. The Joker, the character, has always been a male, has been around for 80 freaking years. 76 years, I apologize. 76 years, folks. Now, the TV show Gotham, who has to be... This is why I don't like a lot of these TV shows. You know, even these comic book TV shows that have to be politically correct. Science fiction shows in general that have to be politically correct. This is the thing that this is really gets me pissed off. I'm going to look for him right now again. So, because this one is another one that stirred me up. And I got to look for that one for that woman. I'm going to have to keep this prolonged until I can find that one, too. Probably somebody got offended by that, too, and they probably pulled that and said, hey, that's offensive. It's an article from a newspaper, but, you know, because I got in trouble for that already, so. Oh, real quick, hey, if you're interested, for anybody who is, you can get if you want to waste your money, even more so, you can get a photo taken if you win this contest with Ben Affleck and get a ride in the Batmobile, the new one. And it's on that osmos.com, whatever, where you can donate money to a charity event, which you're doing a good thing by donating to a charity, but it's going to cost you probably a couple grand to get like even remotely close and still just waste your money. Or you're not wasting your money, but spending money that your intentions are to win the grand prize of, you know, getting in a brat ride with Batman, or I think there's a helicopter ride with the actor who plays Superman, Caviar, whatever how you say his name. I can't say that damn guy's name, and I don't really like him as Superman anyway. Anyway, that was on comingsoon.net about the female Joker in the upcoming episode. And it's titled, Is That a Female Joker in the Photo from Gotham's episode Season 2, Episode 14. So, honestly, they changed all these characters. I was really thinking for some more. Now, the thing is, she looks pretty fugly now, but apparently it's the same chick, which I love that movie from back in the day. It's the same chick who played in Tank Girl. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. She doesn't look that great anymore because she's aged really badly. But apparently they got the chick from Tank Girl to play the new Joker. So, I mean, Harley Quinn would be kind of cool if you want to get a female character that's related to in the same universe, or, you know, because she's the girlfriend of the Joker. But now just to be politically correct, you're going to make the Joker into a female. That is just really pushing it. That is really, really pushing something beyond any. I know it's just a comic book, but still. Okay, so I pulled up that story about the two people I'm suspecting of being Muslims, which I can't prove because they won't go that far. Here's an interesting story I forgot about. This was from the other day. This is no joke. This was actually on the Daily News newspaper. Woman arrested for driving with a fake cardboard license plate. She basically got a piece of cardboard, cut it out the same shape of a license plate, you know, the same size, and she painted it to look like a New York license plate, and she actually stuck it on her car. And it is, you know, cardboard. There's no other way to put it. So I got a picture, and ironically, I know it's going to be her. It's a woman, a girl, and her name's Amanda Schwetzworth or something. So you actually had the balls, not that she does, to basically make a fake license plate and stick it on her car out of cardboard and painted it blue and yellow and try to make it to pass it off as a real license plate. I'm telling you, it's just too funny. So again, yeah, I'm not surprised, because that was just yesterday, I think, before I got my suspension on my thing, because I got plenty of stories complaining about people doing some really offensive stuff. And it's always the same situation in every story, unfortunately. But with this girl from Russia or whatever who was going way too fast. Oh, wait, here, I did find it. Wow, they didn't pull it. It was from it was on the Daily UK Mail. I might even just leave it at this, by the way, because it's getting a little bit late. Daily Mail, how not to park your car. Drunk woman driver smashes into, get this, wait for the drum roll, because she's really hot looking too. So that's the only thing she's got going for her. I'm not even kidding. A hot blonde girl from like Russia. Get this, smashes into 17 vehicles in Russia car park. She's like stone drunk. She's over the legal limit. She's got blacked out windows in her car, because you know how I love to complain about that, and I have a reason for it. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name. She's 26 years old. Was filmed carrying into one car after another. I guess they meant car into, like she's smashing into one car after another, and it was 17 she smashed into, because she was so stone drunk, she was over the legal limit by a lot, that she was trying to park her car and she smashed into 17 cars, literally. And it says, was also, it gets even better. Another thing I love to complain about. She was also talking on her phone and swore at passerbys who tried to intervene. I guess she was trying to make some excuse up. She was talking on her cell phone as well. Angry car owners eventually pulled her from her car and apprehended her. Banned from driving after court heard she had 6 times the drink and drive limit. She was 6 times over the legal alcohol limit. This was in Russia. She was talking on her cell phone, directly into her cell phone. She had blacked out windows, because I'm looking at the pictures. The windows were completely blacked out. This was in Russia. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She smashed into 17 cars. Now, I'm wondering how long, what kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word. What kind of traffic violation they're going to give to her, even in Russia, because of the way she looks. It said, let's see, the judge, basically Southwestern Russia region, also fined her nearly 30,000 rubles, or around 300 pounds. That's like a slap on the wrist. I'm sorry, 300 pounds. Well, that's like $600. Or no, not even anymore. It's like $450, I would guess. And she's facing compensation claims from the owners of the cars she hit. She hit 17 freaking cars, though. And she was talking on her cell phone as well. So my thing is, I talk about like these females when their obnoxious attitude, the way they act like they got a chip on their shoulder. This is even true in Russia, obviously. Because I'm looking at it again, it says the angry car owners eventually stopped her and pulled her from her Chevrolet, it's Aveo or something, while she was still trying to talk on her cell phone. Like, she didn't give up. She wouldn't pry. They had to pry the phone out of her hands from her ear, because she was still talking on the phone after she smashed into 17 cars. It said the woman had apparently tried to leave the car parked, but she was held by other drivers and passerbys until the police arrived. So she tried to get away also. The amount of damage caused by the woman is still being calculated, so they don't even know how much damage she did. One of the cars she smashed into was a BMW, so you can just imagine what the cost of that is. So 17 cars, and she got away with 300, basically a 300-pound fine. So I got to figure out what that is in American dollars now. I'm doing that right this second, if I can do it. I'm sure it's not that much. Oh, let's see. British pounds, 1 pound. U.S. dollars, British pounds. I'll put 300. And it's not letting me do it. It says that basically a British pound is $1.42 in U.S. American money. Oh, wait. My numlock might be not working. Oh, great. I guess that soda might have ruined my... Yeah, I think I might have ruined my keyboard with that Coke. $426.81. So there you go. I figured that out. I got to figure out what's wrong with my keyboard now, because again, I might have ruined it with that. Sorry about that with that Coke I spilled on her. Usually it never does that. So that's the first time that happened. So, folks, yeah, I mean, it's stories like that I read. Other bullshit stories I read. And yet, though, by me complaining about this stuff, results happen instantaneously that I am found offensive, like I've said before. But the same offensive things said by other people is not that offensive. So it depends on who the party is. That's, the person or the certain people. So I complain about it, and obviously the complaining does not get me anywhere, but yet others who are truly doing extremely offensive things just constantly get away with it, though. So when is it going to stop, though? I mean, that's my concern. I mean, and the other thing is, when I say this stuff, I even think about, like, with Donald Trump. Now, I know, like, people don't like Donald Trump. That's the bottom line. There's no doubt about it. They don't like Donald Trump. That's fine, but, it's okay for these wacko leftists and just people in general, even people, who are on the same party I am, or believe in the same party that I do. They don't like him either. There's a lot of people who don't like the man. But, it's okay, at least for the left, as I like to put it, to bitch and complain about how, we don't like Trump, he's this, he's that, and other thing. But, hey, you know what? It's only fair if you're going to be attacking Trump or any other political person in my party, or the party I'm going to vote for, the Republicans, I don't care who it is, that's fair game in my book, that I should be able to also make fun of your party members like Hillary Clinton. I mean, if you're allowed to bash Donald Trump, put pictures of him looking like Dumb and Dumber, or I'm trying to think that twins from that movie, because I've seen that multiple times, of putting his face on those twins from that TV or that movie, The Shining, or, put him on a picture of a monkey or something like that, or some woman putting his face on there, or putting pictures of his face with photoshopping with makeup or making him look like a woman. If that's all right, and I'm not supposed to say anything, but the second that I make a funny picture or post a funny picture of Hillary Clinton in, the same manner, then all of a sudden that, hey, we can pick on Donald Trump, and I return the favor by putting up a picture just as hilarious, or as you would see it, as offensive, of Hillary Clinton in the same situation, then all of a sudden I should be removed from society. I should not be able to speak up. That is very offensive. All of a sudden now it becomes very offensive. Before, when you're picking on Trump, that's not offensive. That's funny. So that is a double standard, by the way. Obviously, they don't see it. I'm apparently the only one who sees the truth. So, I mean, I'm sorry, it just drives me, I mean, it's one thing to hear, in my opinion, when I hear somebody from, again, my side saying, hey, don't trust Donald Trump and everything like that, because it's somebody who believes in the same thing I do, the Republicans. So I'm going to listen to them, but do you think I'm going to listen to somebody from the left who will scrutinize, tear apart every single... I actually got a Rolling Stones magazine from the other day, because somehow I didn't even know I did it, but I subscribed to Rolling Stones, which I try to cancel it out. I can't now. I think I only paid like $10 for it anyway, because nobody wants the damn thing anymore anyway. But I got a Rolling Stones magazine, and right on the cover, what do you have? You have an offensive, an offensive picture of Donald Trump, Rubio, and I'm trying to think who else. Everybody on our side, probably even Chris Christie, Trump, Rubio, Cruz, all the guys in our party that are running for the GOP. On the front cover, being I find a very offensive cover. And, that's on what you expect from the Rolling Stones. Just making a mockery of who's running for the Republican side. You don't see that with the Democrat side. And heaven forbid if you saw that same picture with Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and the rest of the dopes on that side, because mainly right now it's just Hillary and Bernie you hear mostly about. Do you really think that there, do you think that's going to happen, for one thing? No, it's not going to happen at all. Two, if that was the case, you would find every bleeding heart liberal bitching and complaining, and the media, for whoever would post a picture like that, not on Rolling Stones, but something similar to that, you would find them trying to sue, reprimand, destroy whoever would put out a picture like that. It's just a fact. So it's that old saying, for those people that are like extreme bullies, when they say, well, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. Well, there you go. There's one of those cases. I'm telling you. And try not to believe it, but if you don't want to, continue to live in that like little fantasy world there. Well, the only ones being ridiculed and reprimanded are the people on the left, the people who are for equality, the Democrats and the transgenders, the gay men, the women who are being getting scrutinized and not getting paid enough. They're the true victims. But they're the ones who are doing all this scrutiny and attacking anybody who doesn't think the same way they do or doesn't feel sorry for them. So anyway, I think I've obviously milked this. Well, I'm not going to say I milked it, but I'm just going to say I've spoken long enough, and I'm going to give everybody a break. I'm cutting this off, and I'm going to edit this soon. So everyone, have a good evening on this Saturday, and I am signing off for now. This is iWalter. Thanks again if you're listening. Have a good night.